Good morning, friends. Here is the butcher for a new cheese preparation. On this occasion, we are going to pay tribute to the Tovar colony there in Venezuela. They make a very, very particular cheese from that region called Pipili Kaas. Pipili means, I think, in German, chicken and helmets. That is, it is the cheese of the chickens. It is a cheese similar to North American cottage cheese. And well, to pay tribute to this land, I am going to make this cheese, for which we are going to use 2 gallons, which have been 7.5. L of raw milk is raw milk. So the idea is empty it into a container that I have here, put it to cool in the refrigerator to collect all the cream. That is, this is going to take from one day to the next for the cream to cool. Go up and collect all the cream and then leave the cheese for about 3 days to ferment and separate the curd from the whey. And then we are going to boil it, is that, and collect at the end all the curd that is going to go as crumbled, as later crowned, as he says, we say then I do there. We mix what is the curd with the cream that we have collected, and we are going to get a little bit of milk, which doesn't have to be this, but supermarket milk. Well, then I'm going to start emptying this into the container that I have so that I can start the process of collecting the cream. I will show you when I have all the milk added to this container. Okay, so here I'm finishing adding the second ball. Is the milk fresh? Well, I'm going to leave this to collect as much cream as possible. So from one day to the next, we are going to cover it, take it to the refrigerator, and then we will see each other tomorrow to collect the cream. Leave the rest there, let it continue to ferment. And when we see that it has already been cut like 2-3 days ago, we are going to be checking it there. Then we boil that milk curd away. Well, then I'm going to cover and see you tomorrow. Greetings. Good morning, friends, here again. 1 day passed. We had this milk in the refrigerator, so what I'm going to do now is pick up the cream on top. During this operation, I'm going to clean and add the cream to a small glass. Then I'm going to do this, and now I'm going to put it back on the camera so that they can see the difference. Not when the cream is collected, I already put the cream on them. Well, I already took out most of the cream that was on top of the cream. Basically, what one does is give it like this and pick up the never goes. They will be able to collect everything, no, but yes, the idea is that they collect as much as they can, and that the color of the side they are collecting is more, in this case, more yellow. What's down there, huh? Which already has a more uniform color without forming that layer of fat that had cream or nothing. So I have it here. So what I'm going to do now is cover this, cover both. This is going to go to the refrigerator, and we're going to leave this here covered so that it ferments, as I told you before. It will depend on the temperature, but I estimate that in about 2 or 3 days, the curd will already be formed and is separating from the whey. In any case, every day I'm going to tell you how this is going. not the progress of fermentation. Well, I'll see you tomorrow. Greetings, good morning, friends. Much again, here we go with him. The first day of milk out there in the refrigerator. Look how another good layer of cream has formed. So what I'm doing, using a strainer of these wire ones, collecting in this way, and I'm going to add here where I have my container of cream that collects quite well with this strainer. So I'm going to do that. And I'll show you so that when I already have it, I'll have all the milk without anything. I already show you well. I spent quite a while taking it off. Look, there's still some left, but I don't want to shave too much because I don't want to take too much curd. Notice that this is already setting. What we need is that, apart from curdling, make the curds form, that is, let them separate themselves. So over time, tomorrow and the day after, they will probably already happen. The separation of what is the serum from the equator says it's still there. Are they the same one? Well, no, they are not separated, but hey, I have already been removing it. Maybe a good tip for the next time I do it, or those who are going to do it, is to wait. About 2 days before starting to get the cream out, because I'm seeing that it collects much easier. Yesterday it cost me more because I wasn't so solidified, so curdled. But now it did allow me to get a lot out. Look at this beauty that is here. And the other thing I'm going to do right now is add a little salt to it to preserve it, not a salt shaker. I have added a little salt even though I have it in the refrigerator. Well, I can add a little salt to it so that I can preserve it better. Okay, well, see you tomorrow to see if we can see some separation of serum and curd. Ready? Good morning, friends. We continue with the preparation of the Pipili Kaas. And this one that comes this 1 day spent in the refrigerator and 2 days outside to see how it is. I see that you already have the whey somewhat separate, well, from the curd, right? However, we still have plenty of curd. I'm going to help you a little by making some cuts like this so that you can separate more easily. Notice there's still some cream left. I'll see if I can pick her up. The cream I have, the one I have been collecting, is quite solid. It has solidified quite a bit. What am I going to show you? Here, totally thick. Look, then remember this. Once I already think it's tomorrow, you will already have 3 days outside. We are going to take this out and we are going to put it in AA to heat it up. There will be a slow fire for half an hour and let it heat up and collect all the particles of which it is not, and let it separate perfectly from what is the serum. So there we are going to be draining it until it is well drained, and we are going to mix it with the cream. And maybe we'll add a little milk from the supermarket. In the case of the original Pipilka original, what they do is that new milk that arrives, they boil it, let it cool, and add it to the combination of the curd and the cream. But in my case, I'm not going to look for new milk because they get it from milking, because they have cows nearby. But I don't. I'm going to use supermarket milk that's coming. Authorized then that we are going to add a this, well then that's how I look. I'm going to stay here and collect whatever remains of cream I can collect. Add my cup of cream here, and we continue to wait. Then tomorrow, I think we are then taking out this is this curd and putting it to boil. Well, I'll see you tomorrow. Greetings. Good morning, friends here. The car again. On the third day of having had the milk outside, it is already quite curdled. Look, so what I'm going to do right now is transfer it to a pot that I have here, and then we're going to heat it for half an hour. I'm going to transfer everything there in the most delicate way possible to prevent the rennet we have from falling apart. Remember, this was a natural fermentation, no rennet or anything. So the rennet is a little delicate, then we'll pass it with gently, and then I'll show you in the pot. When I heat it up, we'll have half an hour. I said boil before, but I'm not going to boil. I'm going to heat it up gently and see how it behaves, because this is the first time I've done this. And the reference video I have doesn't show it very well. Then I have to act on my own common sense. So I'm going through the curd and I'm showing you, and I want to show you. Since I'm still passing, I'm still collecting curd and passing it through the pot so that you can see how I curdle naturally. Well, I'll show you when the pot is in. Well, I already have everything in the pot, so right now I'm going to turn on the stove, and I'm going to go, as I said, slow fire evaluating to see how that behaves according to the original video. I must have it there for half an hour. After having it for half an hour, we wait for it to cool down, and we are going to pass it through a strainer, and I'm going to put a cheesecloth on it and a strainer below, and so that you can collect all the solid material that we have there. I am progressively showing you how we are doing. If I see any changes, I'll show them. Okay, I've had it for about half an hour. The temperature I have there is 80 degrees C. I'm going to stir a little to see how it goes. I think I'm going to turn it off now. I'm looking for the lumps to form. And I'll be able to collect as much solids as I can. You see then? Well, I'm going to do that. I'm going to AA cool, and I pick up all the solid part I can. I show you well. I finally turned it off, and I'm waiting for it to cool down. Here I have what I have collected. Let's see how much material you can collect from what you already feel. Cold, cold, cold. I'm going to put it in the refrigerator, let it spend a full day there, and the serum. If I see that it is still whitish, I can add a little vinegar to it. Oh, and heat it up a little more. On the other hand, heat it and add a little vinegar to it to collect a little more. I'm already acting by instinct. I don't stop to try to collect as much as I can, but more or less that's how the curds, the lumps, remain. So, well, I'll see you in the morning when I pick up what I can, and the other probably. Hot and milk vigre. Well, see you later tomorrow. Well, friends, this one here I had passed the curd. This container had taken it out of the pot, so now what I'm going to do is strain to then get it, the curd, well, the rennet, and then I'm going to drain it. In this strainer that I have here, covered with a fabric, and then recover everything, the rennet and whey will fall down. I don't think it will be necessary. I had mentioned that maybe I had to heat the serum again and add vinegar, but I see it quite well. I don't see it that much. I turn white, as I call it. I see it more or less green. So, well, I'm going to be doing that. I'm going to strain. I'm going to let the curd drain well. And then we make the complete Pipili Kaas, which will be mixing the cream with the curds and adding a little bit of milk and salt. Ready. I finally show them good after 4 days. we already have the curd or Pipili Kaas completely drained. I made sure to drain it well on the fabric I had, and I obtained a net weight of 970 grams from the 7.5 L that we had. Initials of raw milk. Here I have the pasteurized milk that I told you about. Remember that in the case of El Pipilka is original. What they do is bring new milk, boil it, and let it cool, and have it. But in this case, it would be the same as this pasteurized milk that I have here, and finally I have the cream that was collected as we did the process. And it's pretty thick. So what I'm going to do to the eye is mix the cream with the cheese and add a little milk and rectify with salt. Hey, then nothing, if it is enough or more, is needed depending on the thickness that I want to give it. I think he can handle everything. I'm going to add everything. So let's see how much final product we have. I didn't stir, it was a little thick. I'm gonna give it a little milk, nothing more, and then we rectify it with salt or K. The final product looks very good. It doesn't have its job, but I think that in the end it bears fruit. One of the key points is that make sure you squeeze the curd well so that there is no residue of acidic whey left there. Remember that this has been a milk that went through 110 refrigerators and then 3 days outside. So the whey is quite acidic. Well, so the leather is left. I'm going to add a little salt. And then I rectify the flavor. I'll show it when I have the final product. Well, I've already rectified it with salt. I've already tried it. I think it's a pretty tasty product. Tomorrow I'm going to do it. I'm going to accompany him with breakfast, but it's quite good. It is a product made with humility of people from beyond. From the Tovar colony, the famous Pipilikas, the Pipilikas, perhaps they have a slightly larger curd left, but I preferred to squeeze it well and remove all the whey I had so that it wouldn't be acidic. Okay, so well, I'm going to weigh you and tell you how much the final product obtained, and I'll tell you that the final product, 1 kilo 600 grams, is okay. Pretty good then. Well, I'm going to keep it in the refrigerator so that it can be consumed here in the house. People who are going to market with it can put it in cups of 250 gralin each and sell it, or simply consume it at home, as I am going to do here. Well, this morning I let you taste with a breakfast with scrambled eggs and that kind of thing that one eats. See you tomorrow. Well, finally finishing the cheese. The Pipili Kaas spent a day in the refrigerator, the one that is quite thick. Maybe it lacks a little moisture. I'm going to add a little more milk and then present it in a breakfast plate that I prepared eggs and a belly that... But hey, I'll show you the final dish, and that's where the video would end. I'll give you, well, gentlemen, and this is how the video ends. Look, at least here with some bellies you can spread or combine with the egg. In short, the possibilities are immense. So, well, this video was made with great love for you to show you that. In regions like this where, well, no, we do not have diversity of supermarkets. People in their homes with cows that they have there can also prepare, because someone can say no. That is, then it is easily made with ricotta and milk is mixed with it. And cream, if it is correct, but the problem is where they are, it becomes difficult. Get those things and they have it from the same land, from the same cow. They don't use rennet. So that's the advantage of admiring, let's say. Well, Buke says goodbye. Many greetings, change and out.